Hi Year 6, welcome to day 6 of our Introduction to Shakespeare unit. I hope you have had a lovely weekend. Today we are going to be looking at Midsummer Night's Dream in a bit more detail, and then we will, as the week goes on, start looking at another play of Shakespeare's which is called The Tempest. So today is Monday the 29th of June 2020. I want you to please pause the video and write the date and LI. So the LI is to develop our creative writing skills today. So in today's lesson we're going to be looking at Act 2, Scene 1 of the play and analysing some of the language. And then we're also going to be looking at writing a creative description of the forests in A Midsummer Night's Dream. So we're going to be looking at setting today. So what we're going to do is look at this excerpt from or extract from the play. So this is Act 2, Scene 1. And here we have Demetrius and Helena having a conversation. And we're going to do some comprehension based on this. So I'm going to read the text to you and try and explain it as we go along so that it will be easier for you to answer the questions. So Demetrius says, I love thee not, therefore pursue me not. Hence, get thee gone and follow me no more. So obviously he's being quite horrible to her and saying, I don't love you, please go away. And Helena says, you draw me, you hard-hearted adamant. Demetrius says, do I entice you? Do I speak you fair? Or rather, do I not, in plainest truth, tell you I do not, nor I cannot love you? And then Helena said, and even for that do I love you the more. I am your spaniel, and Demetrius, the more you beat me, I will fawn on you. So basically saying that she can't help but be in love with him, and she wants to just follow him around wherever he goes, and he's saying to her, leave me alone, I don't love you. And then Demetrius says, tempt not too much the hatred of my spirit, for I am sick when I do look on thee. And then Helena says, I am sick when I do not look on you. Then Demetrius says, I'll run from thee and hide me in the brakes and leave thee to the mercy of wild beasts. The wildest hath not such a heart as you. Run when you will, the story shall be changed. I will not stay thy questions, let me go. Or if thou follow me, do not believe, but I shall do thee mischief in the wood. I'll follow thee and make a heaven of hell, to die upon the hand I love so well. Okay, so basically she's saying, I love you, I don't care if you want me to be eaten by wild beasts, I will still follow you wherever you go. And he's just saying, I will just leave you and something will happen to you and I don't care. And she doesn't seem to be listening to him, she doesn't care, she's just totally devoted and in love with him. So how many negative words can you spot in this piece of dialogue? So there are quite a few there, so you should be able to find them. Still not and no are negative, so it's very easy to answer that question. How might the following actor deliver the lines? So when the actor says, do I entice you? Do I speak you fair? So think about how he would deliver it, probably in quite a harsh way. Okay, he's saying to her, I don't even say anything nice to you, so I don't understand why you still love me. Number 3, why would Helena compare herself to a spaniel? Remember, a spaniel is a dog. So why is she comparing herself to a dog? How might the following actor deliver the lines? Tempt not too much the hatred of my spirit. So don't tempt me because I already have so much hatred for you anyway. Okay, so think about how he would say that. Here Shakespeare repeats the same device from Act 1, Scene 1. What is it and why is it used? So he's basically using the reverse line. So he says, I am sick when I look on thee, and she's saying, well, I'm sick when I do not look on you. So basically using his lines and twisting them. Okay. How is Helena's attitude to Demetrius different to Hermia's? So Helena's attitude is so different because she is totally in love with him, whereas Hermia is not so much. She doesn't care for Demetrius at all, does she? Because she wants to marry Lysander. And the last one, why does Shakespeare use oxymoron here? So oxymoron is where you are putting two opposites together, so heaven of hell. So she's saying, Demetrius is saying, you following me around is like hell, and she's saying, well, I'm making that hell into heaven by being in love with you. So doing the comparison there. And Shakespeare does a lot of that in his plays as well. Okay, moving on. So here is a picture of the forest in A Midsummer Night's Dream. And for your first task, I would like you to brainstorm as many different words to describe the forest as you can. Okay? And I need you to think about lively adjectives, verbs and adverbs, imagery, varied senses, alliteration, and focus on details to make it realistic and bring it to life on the page. Okay? So I want you to have a go at doing that first. So please pause the video and go ahead and do that task. Okay, so here is an example of what I have found online where someone is describing that forest. Okay, and I want you to think about what kind of mood it creates for the reader and whether you think it's an effective description. Proudly the tall oaks stood and held the thick canopy of leaves above. The moonlight struggled to peep through the only thin shafts illuminating the clearing below. Through the clumps of clumsy grass, grasshoppers chirped, and an owl hooted in the distance. Fluttering to and fro, a group of golden fairies buzzed between the trees, sending sparks across the warm midsummer breeze. They chattered and chanted in a language no other could understand. Nearby, a trickling waterfall sent waves plunging into the pool below. Above the pool, thick vines hung low, like coiled snakes ready to strike. A silhouette slowly appeared through the trees, pushing the branches aside, looking for their lost lover. So you can see how the author has created a real sense of majesty and magic about this forest. Okay, how it's peaceful, how there's fairies, very scenic, very beautiful, a very romantic setting for the character to be looking for her partner. Okay, really nice description there. I really like it and I want to see your opinion of it. So please write it down in your books so I can see it when you send me your work. Think about the mood and think about whether it's effective or not. Okay, so now we're going to make some notes in your books about creating a magical forest. Okay, so why would the mist be appropriate weather for the story? Why would purple be an interesting colour to use to describe the forest? Why choose exotic wildflowers rather than traditional flowers? How could these branches be personified? Why describe a dense forest that limits visibility? And what sounds might be heard in this forest? So imagine you were describing this scene. I would like to answer those questions in your books, please, about the scene and what makes this picture so effective in depicting a magical forest. Okay, and how you could go about describing it. So I want you to pause here and answer those questions, please, in your book. Okay, so now I want you to look at the next picture and I want you to do the same thing, answering the questions about this magical forest. So what imagery could you use to describe the moon? How might the atmosphere change if you set your scene at night? How might describing a thick undergrown affect a character trapped in the forest? So think about all the ground, the grass, the plants that have been overgrown in this forest, and if someone is trying to escape or leave the forest, how might that impact the character and the mood of that paragraph? Why might dead leafless trees be more effective? And how could you describe the shadows to make them seem mysterious? So this is a slightly different tone to the picture we were looking at before, and because it's set at night, maybe it makes it a little bit more creepy, a little bit more mysterious. So you have a think and see how you could describe this using by answering the questions. And please write the notes in the back of your book. Okay, so this is your final task. What I would like you to do is take a full page of your book and I want you to write a description of the Midsummer Forest. Use the notes that you've already answered questions on, so the notes that you've made of all those pictures, and really try and pull together all of your ideas to create a lovely description of the forest. So please use the same thing as we did at the beginning: lively adjectives, verbs and adverbs, imagery, senses, alliteration, and focus on details to make things come to life. And I really would like you, please, to send this work in to me at the Year 6 email address, year6@grange.harrow.sch.uk. And I really look forward to seeing all of your lovely work, and I will speak to you tomorrow.